Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer, and today we are going to talk about The Shy, season 3, episode 1. I'm going to try to do this whole season, but it's really getting bad. But let me go get a drink of water right quick. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, so The Shy, where's my notes on that? All right, so this first episode, it started off with a wedding. Um, Basically, it showed a girl. She looked about like 17, 18. She was running to her mother who was about to get married. And, she had on the girl that is had on her best dress. The mother, of course, was chubby. So, for those of you who've seen season 1 and 2, she was the mother from there. She was the one with the little boy, the dark skinned boy who witnessed everything and was shot. Or excuse me, he wasn't shot, but he witnessed a murder, and the story kind of revolved around him. So started off with that. She was getting married. The little girl comes a running, and she was late. Nothing really wrong with that. And by the way, when I say wrong with it, the reason why I do the reviews and the reason why I call it Red Pill reviews is because it's to explain how you're being brainwashed. What these modern programs, particularly the Black programs, are doing is to spot the agenda. And so you could catch these things so other people, or excuse me, so you don't, I catch these things so you don't have to watch it. That's pretty much my goal with this. All right. So um, it turns out that this season has a new agenda, an alphabet agenda. At least that's what I'm gathering so far. So for the first 2 seasons, the boy had a mother, and her initial role was the single Black mother of 2 kids, and that is her. That's how you define her. Fair enough. But this season, they decided to make things a little bit different. Basically, what they did was decide to say, hey, you know something? Let's make the mother of 2 kids lesbian. Let's make her lesbian. No particular hint of this before. The previous seasons, she was just a mother. But now all of a sudden, she is marrying another woman. And so they have their wedding. They have their wedding outside. They're waiting for the daughter. She arrives and she walks down the aisle. And then the bride walks up and she has a more masculine presenting groom. And of course, the pastor is a woman too. Now, right there, you got to think about the imagery. The imagery, what they're trying to portray with that is a world without men, or at least without men in authority of any type. A pastor, a preacher is a leader. It's somebody with community respect and somewhat authority, even though it's moral authority over the lives of his, or excuse me, in this case, her congregation. But they wanted to show this image: a woman marrying a woman by a woman. and only bridesmaids are there. Basically, that scene was supposed to depict a world without men. So, moving on to the next scene. The next scene, you had a man and a woman who was coming to the wedding late. Now, you would think that, oh, man and woman together. This is Black love. This is heterosexual. Oh, excuse me. Cisgendered, cisgendered heterosexual love in action. But nope. What it was a baby mama and a baby daddy of a adult man. That is the reason that they were there. She needed a ride. This was her friend's wedding, and there you have it. Baby mama and baby daddy. Because, you can't have Black love on a Black TV series, right? That's just absurd. That's just absurd. A cisgendered heterosexual couple on a Black show? That's ridiculous. No, I'm from California. So, when they sat down, and keep in mind that the boy is over, or their son is over 20, rather. So when they sat down and they're whispering, the man says to the woman, well, we never got married. Which is a very odd question to ask somebody that you knocked up over 20 years ago. Why we never got married? To which she responds, nobody would believe that you would forsake in all others. Now, that's an interesting thing for a single mother to say to the father of her child. Because basically what she's saying is, I knew you got around. At the time when we were supposed to be discussing love, marriage, baby carriage, instead, I just got knocked up by somebody that I knew got around. So she says, nobody would believe you would forsake in all others. To which he replied, no one would believe that you would obey. To which she said, obeying is for dogs. Because come on now, a Black woman obeying her Black male husband? Let's not put that in a TV series. That's just absurd. Even though that's the foundation of all functioning relationships. But obeying is for dogs. Did you hear that, little girls? Obeying is for dogs. Never obey a man, particularly a Black man, because that's for the dogs. That's what dogs do. Dogs obey, not humans. They made sure that they got that message out there, right? Yeah. So now on this day, on this wedding day, the boy whose mother is getting married to another lesbian woman, or to a lesbian woman, I should say, he also had a funeral to go to. Now, this wasn't the original intent of these shows' creators and writers, this funeral scene, but it was necessary. So the boy goes to the funeral of his friend and mentor, the local cook who the show was originally structured around. Now, the reason why his character was killed off was because of, guess what, people? Me Too. Yes. So apparently he was sexually harassing the woman who he was on camera having extraordinarily erotic sexual scenes with. You know, they just, now there's no proof of this, there's no evidence, but she said it and he's fired. His character is dead. Now, for those of you who don't know, his character was played by the same person that played Eazy-E. He also did some extra work on some other shit. So this is a new actor. Now, in the acting business, it's kind of like a hit or miss. But once you get a hit under your belt, what you do is you build off that momentum. Straight Outta Compton, when he played Eazy-E, was his hit. And his job, his career as an actor was based on him getting his name and face out as much as he can right after that. One, so people don't remember him as Eazy-E, and two, you know, while his name is still hot. His face is just familiar enough to be put out there. Now, for those of you who don't believe me, the other members of NWA, Ice Cube's son, you know, he starred in a movie called Den of Thieves, where, you know, he and 50 Cent were just like that, a Den of Thieves. It was an action movie. It was decent, you know. And he kind of picked up from there. You'll see his face from place to face, even though he looked from place to place, even though he looks just like his father. You'll recognize him. He's like a younger, lighter skinned version of his father. And the guy that played Dre, you see him, not Dre, what's his name? MC Ren. Seen his face a couple places too. He played like a Secret Service agent. He played Brian Banks in the movie Brian Banks. You know, you see him a couple of places. He plays that like strong, silent, black, dark-skinned, athletic type. So he's building off the momentum. DJ Yella, he plays the best friend of Lawrence on Insecure. So everybody is, you know, from that movie, they're branching off, making a career for themselves, making a name for themselves, and he gets his dragged in the mud, through the mud. He loses all momentum. He was the star of a Showtime miniseries at his young age, making money. His acting dream was to come true. But for some reason, you know, he decided to become a pervert with his love interest on set. Maybe he's extremely stupid. Yeah, the guy from Skull Mountain. I count that as extra work. Like, you know, he was more of an extra in that movie. But yeah, he was in that movie. Exactly. Now, you know, he's either really stupid because, like, what actor, especially an up-and-coming one, would Me Too someone like right now? Like right now. I don't think that he's that stupid. But no, I think that she wanted to get rid of him. And this is what I suspect, that she wanted to get rid of him and get some more camera time for herself. Because who needs a promotion when you could just Me Too the person above you and then take their job? Except this is Hollywood and it doesn't really work that way. Like if you play like the fiance of the main character and you kill off the main character, there's really no need to show his fiance. Like you are a part of the series because of him. Without him, there's no reason for your character. So he's gone. Fired off set, and they killed off his character. Now, on a TV series, when you kill off a character like that with, you know, multi storylines, you're killing off his storylines as well, meaning all the characters that were adjacent to him are also dead. His cousin, dead. You know, I mean, not dead, his character, but I'm just saying, like, you know, there's no reason to show his cousin because his cousin was an extension of him. You know, the people at his job, the restaurant he worked at, you know, there's no reason to show them either. There's no reason to show his mother anymore. There's really just no reason to show anybody who was on the show to accentuate his character. They're all gone. They're all fired as well. But hey, nobody is saying anything sexual to this chick now, right? All right, moving on. So they were at his funeral. Now, the mother gave a very interesting eulogy, talking about how she didn't want to have kids, but she had them anyway. And, they were, because, the series started with her son, her other son, her younger son dying. So she's a mother of two. Now she's a mother of none. And she gave the eulogy and she said, they were all I had. The city took them from me. I want the focus of this funeral to be about me. What about me? Yes, your son's funeral is about you. Just you and nobody else but you. That is the thinking that's going on with that. Okay, so moving on. Let's see. All right, so after that scene, that horrible eulogy, self-serving, they went back to the wedding. Now, the young girl, the 17 or so young girl, Kiesha, she was there, and so was her brother and his friends, who looked to be around 12, 13, somewhere around there, right? Now, I want to point out that Kiesha didn't have any friends. Thought that was a little weird, but there's a lot weird about this episode. Kiesha didn't have any friends to bring to the wedding, but the little boy did. He had 2 male friends and 1 female friend. The female friend is also his love interest. So when they threw the garter, the chubby little boy catches it, right? And to which Kiesha said, "Boy, I'll tell your father that you're around here fooling around." Just showing her authority over him. Very weird, but once again, it's all about imagery. It's all about imagery. They want to preserve a certain image. And that is the authoritative Black woman and girl. Now, here's why this scene didn't make sense. Because in a later scene, all of the younger kids, her brother and his friends, including the chubby kid, were getting drunk off of a bottle of wine that they found. And Kiesha walked in. Now, instead of her continuing to be the authoritative Black chick that she was because, a little boy catches a garter, she decided to join them in their drunkenness. So she went from the Black authority to all of a sudden being a just, down ass chick, a down ass big sister. Right. Pretty freaking convenient. Moving on. So after that scene, let's see. Wrote it on my notes. Okay, so another character, the son of the couple who the mother wouldn't obey and the father wouldn't forsaken all others. Their adult son was also the caterer at this wedding. The mother was there and she offered a helping hand. The son tries to caution his mother, who's in her 40s, I think she was like 48 or something like that, against casual sex. Saying, "Ma," or maybe she was in her early 40s, but, he's basically saying, "Ma, I seen you with Dad. It's very weird, don't do that. Stay away from him." Now, keep in mind, his father is married to someone else now, or separated. So basically, this is her adult son telling her to be more sexually responsible and to not have sex with married men who jilted you 20 years ago. Please don't do that. I appreciate you. Hold on. Let's see. I appreciate you, BLS Holdings. Appreciate you a lot. All right. Thanks for the cash out. So, to which she says, oh, by the way, I counted. It was twice. Twice in this exchange, she called her adult son boy. She was literally sonning him. So when he said, as an adult who lives away, cautioning his mother, she said, who do you think you talking to? What if he had said, I'm talking to an old bitch that can't keep her fucking legs closed? Somebody who was incapable of getting a man in her prime with the 20 years that I was born. What if he said that shit? I know he was thinking it. I know he was thinking it. That because you go around calling grown-ass men boys and you refuse to obey, that is probably why you were incapable of securing a penis in all this time. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a boy. So, yeah. By the way, so far this season, and I've seen episode 2. Let's see. I've seen episode 2. There are more, let's just say, non-cis people. Yeah, there's more nonsense people. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Get it? Nonsense people. There's a lot more nonsense people here this season. Now I've seen, and episode 2 is the same way. But we'll get into that. I do want to point out that there are a lot more, how can I say, less than authoritative men this season. And there wasn't many to begin with in the first 2 seasons. Okay, so they switch to the next scene. All the single ladies get together in a picture because, there's no men at this wedding. But all the single ladies get together for a picture. And the photographer doing his job said, smile, to which the underage person, who's an actual girl, says, and I quote, don't tell black girls to smile. You see, in the black community, it's okay for a black girl to tell an adult black man what to do. That type of chicanery is okay. Oh, by the way, every man here, every man in this episode, every adult man is in service to the black woman. And if you don't believe me, check it out. It's free on YouTube. He's the photographer. He's the caterer. He's something, but he is a serviceman of no authority to the black woman. So she says, don't tell black girls to smile. And then the little boy, actually it wasn't a woman only picture. It was a woman and children only picture. And then the young man said, her brother said, hurry up and take the picture. Damn. Now, of course, the mother checks him for that. To which he said, I'm tired of waiting. He said, I'm tired of waiting. I don't care if you beat me or punish me. And then something very strange happened. The photographer checked the boy. The photographer said, boy, don't talk to your mother like that or something of that nature. But I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You didn't defend yourself against a young black female, but you defended an older black female from a young boy. Very weird. Because he was disrespecting the mother, at least according to the mother he was. But the daughter was disrespecting you. Oh, but you're a black man. You don't need respect. I get it. I get it. Okay. Oh, and by the way, he's gay as well. Yeah, because black men are gay. Anyway, so hold on one second. So she let's see, let's move forward. All right, so that's it. That's pretty much it for the wedding. And then they go to the wedding reception, and of course they had like a raunchy type strap-on soft porn sex scene, because people want to see that, right? They want to see two post-wall, one fat, one butch woman, just bump at each other. Like, that's what the people want to see. Oh, with a strap on, right? That's what the people want to see. Yeah, that actually happened. And before they did that, they, gave money to the daughter and told her to watch after the boys while they go on a honeymoon. I guess it was for a weekend or something like that. Now, they ordered room service. The couple, they ordered room service, and somebody came up to the hotel to serve them. Who served them? You guessed it, a black man. Because black men are only servants in this series. A black man came and served them food, got their tip, and was shooed away. Because black men aren't supposed to have authority. So let's go to what the children were doing, shall we? So the daughter was given money to watch after the kids. Now keep in mind that this is the same girl who checked the little fat boy. I like the little fat kid, actually. He's like real religious and shit. But she's the one that said, in front of his friends and everybody, boy, don't do that. Your father kill you. Why? For catching a garter at a wedding? And if that's the case, why would he even be in line? Why did you say that shit when he was lined up? Very weird. Very, very weird. So the same one who did that was also just there while her brother and his friends were smoking weed. And she was about to leave to go get some penis. Penis. So the character is very inconsistent, and it's inconsistent for one clear reason. The writers are deliberately throwing in, emasculating images of black men. That's where they're going with this. This is not an accident. Like that scene where that whole garter scene didn't make sense because it's not naturally supposed to be there. It was a stretch. It was a stretch to put it in there. It was very deliberately put in there. There's a bunch of other shit that's deliberately put in there, but we'll get into that. So she has money and she's about to go get some penis, and the young men are going to set up a party of their own. They got the weed, so they call the girls over. So Kiesha leaves, and he calls another girl over. He calls, his love interest over, the same little girl that was at the wedding. And she said, okay, it's some guys over there. I don't want to be the only girl, so I'll bring my friend such and such. So she came with her friend such and such. And she also brought a fat girl, Maisha. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the previous seasons, Maisha is the lead boy's love interest, or excuse me, ex-girlfriend. Even though she wasn't his actual girlfriend, she kind of like roped him in on some Rasputia shit. You know, that's when the fat girl comes and say, "Do you have a girlfriend?" No. Well, you do now. It was some shit like that. I don't know if it was season 1 or season 2 that happened, but he finally wiggles his way out of that. And even though she was told to bring that one friend, she brought his ex-girlfriend deliberately. And they thought it was funny. Because, you know, I do what I want. I have the pussy. So, however, worked out, you know, 3 girls, 3 boys, one chubby boy, 1 chubby girl, you know, everything worked out in the end for them. So, you know, one of them got laid, other one fingered a chick. The other one was just on some romance shit, you know, talking queen, oh my queen, my queen. And of course, the fat one is the queen, you know, but no big deal there. And it's nothing really new under the sun. The fatter you are, the more of a queen you are in the Black community. So now let's move to the next scene. Now, one of the boys, his brother and guardian, died on the previous season. So his brother, he had another brother who spent some time in jail. And when he got out, he is looking for blood. I mean, he killed the person that ordered the hit on his brother immediately. He don't play. He's a bad mother shut your mouth. And he demand the gangster that was taking care of his little brother, you know, that he gives up custody. So I know what y'all all are thinking. Like, I thought, Game Changer, I thought you were saying that there's no Black masculinity on the show. That every Black man was either he was on some nonsense. Well, guess what? He's on some nonsense because his lover, I guess is what you could call it, is a nonsense person, is a non-cis person. Yes, his lover, how can I say, has some transmission fluid. Yes. But, you know, hey, that's normal, right? That's normal. That is the new normal in the Black community. Just ask TV. So that happened. And he went to the boy's mother, which is also his mother, and, you know, said, I am going to, I want to take custody of my little brother from you. What do I have to do that? And to get you to go to the courts and say you're cleaned up, so you can get custody of your son back, and then you will then surrender that custody to me. That's his plan, right? And she said $10,000. I think they just agreed that it'll take $10,000 to do that. So what does he do? He goes out and robs somebody. Fresh out of jail, he goes out and robs somebody. Now, I think that he's robbing, you know, drug dealers and criminals already. But see, here's the interesting thing about the person he robs. So a Black guy comes out with an envelope, looks like it was full of money, and he had a suit on, right? Now he bumps into the person, you know, with the transmission fluid, and I guess he mistakes it for a woman, but he flirts with it for a second, And they use that moment of distraction to pull a gun out on the guy and rob him and takes his money. Because, straight black men are into trannies, or we simply are into transmission fluid, but we just simply don't have the foresight to see it when it's obvious to the viewer. So anyway, they took the money and ran, and that is that. All right, so let's see, covered the boys in their rendezvous. Oh, okay, so the girl Kiesha, she was sent to her former boyfriend's house because he's also the caterer, to pay him for the service of catering the wedding. And nothing really wrong with that. She was dressed a little slutty, and his new girlfriend was there. So she walks in. Now, this is something that's really strange, but I think that I don't know if they wrote this in the scene or is this just some regular fuckery, but she walks in the house and leaves the door open behind her. He said, "Come on in." And she just walked in and left the door open behind her. I was like, oh, that's weird, but maybe that's just her way of saying that, she's not going to be there that long. So walks up and gives him the money. They exchange a few words. His girlfriend says, if you're going to come to my house, don't dress like a hoe. She said, I'm dressed like this for my man, not yours. Like, okay, thanks for sharing a little bit TMI, but please leave and close the door is what I'm thinking, right? But she did leave. But when she left, she still left the door open. And I know that's petty, but I'm like, why did they write that? Why did they write a chick leaving the door open, just entering people? That's kind of like disrespectful. Somebody, like, do that happen to people? Like, you say, somebody ring on the doorbell, you say, come on in. They open the door, walk in, and leave it open. And then when they leave, they just walk out and leave it open. Kind of strange. So he walks out and they have their back and forth. So after that, she hops on the bus and she goes to a bus stop where I guess she was supposed to meet somebody. And we don't really see what happens, but she's gone. Her purse is emptied out and her phone is smashed on the bus bench. So it looks like she was kidnapped or something or other. And that is the end of season 3, episode 1. Maybe later today or tomorrow, I'll do episode 2 because it's coming on tonight. I just wanted to get episode 1 out the way before episode 2 started. But yeah, that's where we're at. Now, just to reiterate, let's go down the list of black men in the show, shall we? We have the player in his 50s, still trying to map on a post-war woman who happens to be his baby mama. We have the son who has a catering business but is constantly being, humbled by the mother. He's the servant. We have the little boy who's constantly reminded that he is such by, the matriarchal hierarchy. We have the, we have the cameraman who is a little Richard. Let's just say he's a little Richard, a little Richard. We have the new thug that, that comes out of prison murdering and robbing. Oh, and he just so happens to be with somebody who changes transmission fluid. And let's see. Oh, we have the servant, who came in to get them lunch. Let me see. Am I missing somebody? Nope. I think that we have covered all bases. That is how masculinity is represented on this show. And the season just began. I don't want anybody else watching this but me. This propaganda is sick, and I don't want them to get ratings off the shit. But just so you know, that is the direction that we're heading. So when Black Lives Matter has their hidden agenda to promote, nonsense, let's just say nonsense. When they have this hidden agenda and people donate money to Black Lives Matter because they think it's actually going to Black men's lives, and they get hundreds of millions of dollars, what do they do with the money? This. They use portions of the money to become producers of this show. And since money talks, they can portray any image that they want. And this is the image that they want. They want to see more nonsense, more nonsense, more nonsense. You have a single mother, make her nonsense. You have a thug, make his lover nonsense. More wives, more nonsense. More empowered Black females. More nonsense. That's what they're doing with the money that should be saving Black men's lives. So I'm going to try to keep this short, under 45 minutes. Let me just give my shout outs, then I'll close out. All right, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, let's see. All right, Warmaster, DK. Oh, actually, let me hand out some wrenches while I'm here. Now is a good time to hand out some wrenches. So, actually, give me one moment, y'all. Actually, now is also a good time to check on something right quick. Okay, and subscription. Okay, so I looked on my other channel. This is not showing up there, so looks like, I don't know. I'm gonna do like Fantastic and try to get rid of the shadow ban the way he did. All right. But I don't expect many people viewing this because it's a spoiler review, so why would they? All right. Give me 1 second. All right, so type in the chat room with y'all if y'all seen the episode, and if so, what did you think about it? Let me.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Shit's wicked out here. So Sacramento counties and LA counties and Contra Costa County and just all throughout Cali is being we're actually being told to go back in the house. So Yeah. All right. Let's see. Who do we have here? War Master. Let me do that. All right. There we go. And let's see. Okay. So since I'm here, let me click participants. Okay. Basile, Mace, Old Man Mean, War Master, and I seen LaShawn in there. So salute to y'all. Okay. Let's see. Mace. All right. And I think I got everybody. Yeah, we have to. The quarantine is back in effect. So because they started opening up shit and then they just started closing it in 6 counties here. So it sucks because, our numbers are up. So is Texas. And I forget, there was another place that's Florida. So our numbers is up. So yeah. It sucks. But hey, hope you enjoyed the review. This is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.